That morning, Abraham received such a difficult order that seemed to break the heart, even before the walk starts. The God they promised him son now asked for exactly what he loved most. Without understanding everything, he got up early, because faith sometimes walks before the answers. Isaac was called to travel, without imagining that that way would go down in history forever. 2 servants followed with them, while the gospel of Abraham weighed more than any load. Every step seemed to bring the promise closer to a mystery, even deeper and more mysterious. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the mountain appointed by God in the distance. It was there that the walk was no longer just long and became almost unbearable. So he sent the servants to wait, as if that final stretch belonged only to him and his son. Firewood was placed on Isaac's shoulders, and this image already carried a weight that was difficult to explain. The father carried the fire and the knife, but carried inside something even sharper. Climbing together, the 2 looked just like father and son, but the sky watched every step of that climb. It was then that Isaac broke his neck, with a simple question that struck Abraham like a blade. They had the firewood, had the fire, but the lamb was missing for the sacrifice. Abraham responded with wounded faith, "God will provide for my son, even when everything seemed too dark," and followed forward, because some answers only appear in the last instant. On top of the hill, Abraham began to erect an altar, stone by stone. Every stone placed there seemed to increase tension, to a limit almost impossible to support. The firewood was placed on the altar, with a calm that made everything even scarier. Then came the heaviest moment. Abraham revealed to his son what was to happen. History shows no cries of revolt, just a shield so strong it spans centuries. The betrothed son was placed on the firewood, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Abraham raised his hand with the knife, and that second, everything has reached its extreme limit. But just when the pain seemed to overcome, the sky interrupted the tragedy. The voice of Lord Abraham, and the whole mountain appeared to respond in reverence. Don't touch the boy, because now it was clear that faith was real. The test wasn't about destruction, but about how far confidence could go. Then came the unexpected provision, a ram trapped by the horns in the bush. What was missing at the beginning appeared at the end, at the exact moment when it was necessary. The altar that seemed to be the end became the place of divine provision. On that hill, Abraham found that God sees first. Prepare before and act before final despair. And it wasn't just a deliverance, but a revelation about trust, delivery, and promise. After the test came the belief that the cloud of God would still be alive through that. The pain of that climb would never be forgotten, but also it would never be seen the same way again. Because on that day, the impossible was not the knife to stop, but the faith remained standing. Isaac's story on the altar does not end in death, but in provision, fear, and hope. And that's why this report continues, echoing as one of the deepest truths in the entire tribe. If this message touched your heart, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activates the bell not to miss the next stories. And comment below, Amen, so I know you're with me on this walk of faith.